guys, it's your book bitch, and today we're here to talk about I Hate Myselfie by Shane Dawson. Okay, so this was a request by my friend Tyler. Tyler's also requested another book that I will be doing a little bit later in the season, which is actually right here, if I can... which is In Real Life by Joey Graceffa. I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is actually the next book I'm reading, but the next review you're getting is Hit. Anyway, I Hate Myselfie by Shane Dawson. I'm really not sure how to feel about this book, guys. Honestly, I think since he's actually, like, famous or whatever, and he's big on YouTube, and he's a YouTuber or whatever, I probably should put a little bit of a disclaimer here. None of this is a personal attack. None of this is me expressly, trying to say that he should give up writing or anything. But honestly, this is going to be a very critical review because I really didn't like a very, very big chunk of this book. So, yeah. Don't hate me for the fact that I really didn't like a good chunk of I Hate Myselfie. Just kind of, listen to what the hell I'm talking about with it. That's all I ask. And if you still hate me for, criticizing Shane Dawson for, writing basically a steaming pile of shit, you can go ahead and leave some comments in the comment section below. I really, really don't care, It's my opinion. You're entitled to yours. Anyway, let's get on with this book. Okay, so people who know me outside of the book bitch know that I actually really adore shock comics. Like, Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks, George Carlin, Bo Burnham to an extent. I love shock comedy. It's funny. I don't think anything should be exempt from being made fun of. I think there can be fucking humor in anything. Literally anything. So I really don't, there's not much that I will actually take offense at, take offense with and not laugh at. But there was very little that I found funny in the offensive shit in the book. Particularly the first couple of essays. They were very... I want to say trying too hard, but I don't know that that's really what I'm going for, because that would denote that Shane was trying with those essays, and while there was definitely like a note of, oh, well, this could be funny, I'll just kind of shoehorn it in here, that doesn't really translate to trying too hard. That just translates to, what the fuck are you doing? The first time that I actually laughed at this was in the third essay, and that was only because Lisa finally came into the story, and, Lisa was actually amusing. Like, Lisa, I think, was my favorite part of the entire book, aside from another thing I'll get to a little bit later in this discussion, just hold on. But seriously, it took until the third essay for me to actually laugh. And there was only actually 4 essays out of 18, I think. Is it 18? Yep, 18 essays. 4 out of 18 that actually made me laugh. That's kind of sad. Especially coming from someone on, YouTube that's generally funny-ish. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, a hater or whatever. Like, I do like Shane Dawson in very small doses. He's got one of those voices that just grates on my nerves, and he's just he's not my kind of YouTuber, but, you know, I can enjoy him in small doses just like I can enjoy most any random YouTuber I've watched in small doses. Um, and he's funny most of the time from what I've seen. Like, I know that there's also, like, videos where he's serious or whatever, but for the most part, he's funny. So why, when he's obviously trying to be funny, is it so hard for him to actually be funny? Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't going into this expecting really high class humor. I wasn't expecting it to, you know, just make me be holding on to my sides laughing. But I was expecting some element of humor. And there was only 4 essays out of 18 that actually could give me any amount of humor. But maybe it's a case of I don't read nonfiction, and I mean, I struggle to call this nonfiction just from the embellishments and shit. But I don't read nonfiction very often. Like, my nonfiction is generally news articles. So I might be missing some nuance or some shit, but it reads very much like the self-published nonfiction, like, memoir shit I've put out, and that's not really a good thing. Like, yeah, there's a market for that, and especially when you've got a following, there's a market for that. You can get a decent frickin' publisher behind you. Like, this is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. So, like, fucking, you got a fucking big-ass publisher behind this YouTuber, throwing money at him to write, you know, a funny, poignant, whatever the fuck book. And honestly, I gave myself a few days before actually filming this from when I finished reading this. Which it was a very easy read, a very quick read. But I gave myself a few days to just kind of think things over, kind of ruminate, you know, try to remember parts that I liked, think about, you know, things that I didn't like and why I didn't like it. And it just, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it's not a very good book. And I can't quite pinpoint why. But I think, honestly, that it doesn't feel like there was a very large amount of effort thrown into it. Like, a lot of the essays read like they're things that, you know, he wrote in maybe a night or two, and there was no drafting involved or whatever. And, you know, I'm really not one to, you know, bitch about someone else not drafting, because I never draft shit. I mean, like, I've published things that have had, like, a once-over editing just to make sure there's no spelling errors or continuity errors. But, like, I don't draft. I don't like doing drafts. Drafts suck. I get that. But when you're going through a big enough publisher that, you know, it's fucking Simon & Schuster, you would think that there would be an editor going, hey, can we make some of this a little more interesting? Can we make some of this a little more relatable? Can we, you know, stop with, you know, the constant gay jokes? I mean, I realize that's kind of, you know, Shane Dawson's thing, but in person, it's a lot less, you know, on video in person, since I've obviously never met him because I don't really give that much of a shit. But in person on his videos, it's not as annoying when he's self-deprecating and there's all the, like, queer jokes and all the, like, fat jokes and shit. But when you print that, you have to say it differently. Like, I'm not saying that you have to say it differently. Like, obviously, I'm not the gatekeeper of all things grammar and, like, all things book holy or whatever, you know? But in order for it to not just sound like you're trying to gain sympathy, and that's really how it comes across through a lot of it, and it's, you can tell it's unintentional, because it's just peppered with humor all around it, but there's just that huge self-deprecating, like, I'm a fat fatty or whatever, you know, bullshit. And it just, it comes across very sympathy, like attention seeking, like he wants a pity party. Like, that's how it reads, and it's kind of sad. I don't know, maybe I'm a little too old for this. I mean, I am out of the target demographic. I'm not in his target demographic. I'm pretty sure I'm the same age or slightly younger, slightly older than him. I'm not sure. How the fuck old is he? Actually, I think he's a little older than me, but still. I'm not in his, like, target demographic, is what I'm trying to fucking say. Like, I'm nearing 30, and I've been a fat person all my life. Like, whatever. I make a lot of the same fucking jokes that, you know, he makes in here about himself when he was that fat and whatever. But it's still, I don't know. It came across in a way that is probably making this section of this review look really social justice-y. And I don't want it to come across that way. Shit. In one of the essays, he talks about how when he's off camera, he's actually a much more subdued personality. And, like, he's, you know, just prone to sitting around, like, watching Netflix or whatever. And I think, you know, I can understand he was going for the persona mixed with, you know, himself or whatever for, you know, the book. But I think if he'd let more of himself out into the book, I think it would have been a lot more interesting. And I think a lot of the essays towards the end and towards the middle would have come off as a lot less try-hardy. I'm only doing it for the shock value. Because really, that was my biggest issue, is there's so much shock humor for the sake of shock humor. And it's just, it's sad. Like, I didn't go into this book expecting anything, because I don't really read nonfiction, as I said. And what I got was, I wasn't expecting anything, and I didn't expect this. Like, if anything, I was expecting probably poor writing and maybe a couple of laughs. This is reasonably well written. It reads a lot like the self-published memoirs I've put out, which, I don't know, if you've got the right audience, I guess that's a good thing, but it's just, I don't really understand how this gets a book deal. I just don't understand that. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just bitter. It could be. I doubt it, but, you know, it bothers me when famous people get book deals just for the fact that they're famous. And then, you know, you read the book and you find out that the quality is as bad or worse than some of the self-published shit you fucking, you know, you've either put out yourself, or you've read, or, you know, you've read for a YouTube channel specifically, like, regarding bad self-published books. Now, like, this one, I'm not saying it's as bad as, like, The Vampire from Hell. But I am saying that the quality is not that of a properly published book. And that... For the fact that this was $16 fucking at Barnes & Noble, and I had to fucking get it special ordered in because it's apparently just such a fucking hot seller that it's flying off the shelves, I would expect slightly better quality. I would expect a little bit more of a cohesive flow. I would, expect there to actually be humor more often than not, or, at least something interesting. Because that's the other thing, is the ones that are lacking humor are also lacking interesting anything. Like, there's no real story points. Like, aside from the one where his grandmother dies, there's nothing all that interesting in the other essays. There's one that's just kind of batshit crazy, but, whatever. I think, honestly, my favorite essays were, the one at the ass end of the book, which was Shocktuber, which, is kind of ironic considering how much I've bitched about his shock comedy throughout the book. But it was, of all of them, that one and the one about his grandmother were probably the ones where he felt the most real. Like, his voice seemed the most, like, genuine. And so it actually was interesting to read. And he actually got kind of deep for a moment there, and it was nice. It was refreshing, considering the rest of the book was kind of a jumbled mess. Beyond that, the other one that I would really consider a favorite, and I really don't remember which one it actually is, I think it was My Strange Addictions, or My Strange Addiction. Anyway, it was the one about him being just fucking buttfuck obsessed with Splenda and passing out at Disney World. I think it was Disney World. But God damn it, Shane Dawson. I hate you for the fact that I've laughed so fucking hard so many times at just, I'm paraphrasing because I didn't highlight or anything, but I'm paraphrasing because it's on my script. I think the devil is inside of me. I'm going to shit him out. That was the most genuine laughter you got out of me in this entire fucking book, Shane. And fucking... I feel like a terrible person for how fucking hard I laughed at that shit. Now, you see, that's the kind of humor that he should have stuck to. Like, the more genuine, just off-the-cuff, random, stupid shit that's happened. Like, I really recommend that essay in particular. I think it was, honestly, I really think it was My Strange Addiction, or My Strange Addictions. And it was fucking fantastic. It got me laughing so hard, and I'm sure it bought me a one-way ticket to hell. But, I mean, I've been buying those tickets probably on a bi-daily basis since I was about 16. So, at one point, I will just have to, make, like, a flower crown out of all my tickets to hell. But that was a very good belly laugh at the expense of someone with a mental issue. And, yeah. That was pretty great, especially because I think that was either right before or right after probably my least favorite of the essays in the entire thing, which was the one about him getting fired because of YouTube, which was a crock of shit. No, you didn't get fired because of YouTube. You got fired because you were filming at work and you didn't fucking find out if that was something that was okay to do. That's still something that you actually have to find out if that's okay to do. Because, like, most employers don't like you fucking filming at your job unless your job is filming. And even then, what the fuck are you doing filming with, your camera or your phone when, you're on the clock? Like, really. But, yeah, that was the only essay I really felt that I needed to mention specifically as being bad. Like, that one, it was pointless, it was dumb, it was blaming the company for his own shit, really. Well, it wasn't really, but, like, partially. Because it was still... I don't know, it was written in that same kind of flippant bleh style that a lot of the less funny or the not funny essays are written, except for the really serious ones that are actually pretty well written, like the one about his grandma. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, I do recommend the book, especially if you are my age or younger, so if you're under 30, I'd recommend it. If you're over 30, if, you're actually a fan of Shane Dawson, yeah, probably, but if not, if you're a casual fan like I am, I'd say skip it. You can probably find something better to read by another YouTuber or by, someone else. Or, just go read a comic book or something. If you're looking for, an easy read and a pretty decent laugh at, the expense of someone with some serious mental issues, I would say read it, or, buy it, or rent it from, like, the library or whatever, and just read, My Strange Addiction, or My Strange Addictions, or whatever the hell it's called. I'm even too damn lazy to check in the fucking, table of contents, but, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say about Shane Dawson. This is going to be the first book in the half-price books return pile. And once I get enough books, probably from the Book Bitch, I will be bringing books to half-price books, and the circle of life will continue. The next video that you guys will be getting is actually going to be coming out next Tuesday, rather than next Wednesday. And there's a reason for that. I'm adding another day of videos every week. Yay! Can you tell how excited I am? And how robotic my voice has gotten? What the fuck am I doing? Okay, no, seriously though, guys. Starting on this coming Tuesday, I'm going to be doing another video every week. And you're probably asking me, what the fuck, you've never been able to even do one video a week, much less, like, one video every month or anything. How the fuck are you gonna do more than fucking one video a week? Well, first off, none of your fucking business, really. No, I'm kidding. Fucking kidding. I'm going to actually be reading, the Chuck Tingle books. Most of the stories are like 11 pages long, according to Kindle. So, it's very, short, easy reads. These reviews are not going to be anywhere near as in-depth as the actual Book Bitch reviews are. The Tingle Tuesdays is what I'm calling it. Tingle Tuesdays are actually going to be, just short little video, probably not too much editing, just kind of talking about what the fuck I just read, because, you gotta read weird shit and share it on the internet, and for as many times as I've seen the titles being talked about and, the covers being passed around, you don't really see anyone talking about Chuck Tingle books. I'm gonna change that. I'm going to talk about Chuck Tingle books on Tuesdays, starting this coming Tuesday, and going until I run out of Chuck Tingle books to review. And at that point, we'll figure something else out. But, yeah. I've got 3 more videos to film tonight. So I better wrap this up. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.